All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zoom people. Good morning, Facebook Live. Um, Say hi to Kira. She's with me this morning. Um, no props for today unless you need blocks. So the blocks are actually optional to you. I actually like to have them near me so I can sit on one. But to begin, I think it has to be addressed. And as a yoga instructor and as someone who guides and leads, we should talk about this, and this should be a continuing conversation. And so while I celebrate the importance of adding our voices and energy to the fight, I also know that if we don't remain grounded and connected and resilient within our bodies and empowered in our hearts, that it will soon consume us and wreak chaos in our individual lives. So it's so very important for us to remain strong and to remain connected so that we can crystallize the vision of the world that we want to create. As we process all the events recently, it's so important for us to recognize that we have to listen, we have to learn and also unlearn, to speak and act from a place of compassion and love. I know it's not easy and even easy to think about right now or even for a while because we built up these samskaras, this Sanskrit word that means habits and patterns that have developed over and over again and created a groove that's so very hard to move away from or even difficult to resist. So we have our yoga practice as a tool for self-examination, for transformation, and for right action. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 38, it says, "Fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat. Fulfilling your duty and responsibility in this way will never incur sin." So, with that, I ask you to find your seat of choice, nice and comfortable, whether it's crossed at your legs or on your shins, and let your hands just gently rest upon your thighs. And close your eyes down. And as you close your eyes down, I share with you this Sanskrit prayer, Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. And it translates as, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And as you start to draw your awareness within, recognize the movement of your breath. Allow every inhalation to draw in a bit more love and compassion. Then send that same love and compassion outward. Inhaling, embracing the ability of freedom and happiness. And then exhaling to wish that for all beings on this earth. Join your palms together right at your heart. Just take a moment to set your sankalpa, your intention for your practice today. Let's blink our eyes open. And as you bring your arms alongside your body, create two thumbs up position in your hands, turning the thumbs out towards the sides. Then we'll practice a few moments of breathing. So watch to begin. As we inhale, we'll circle the arms above, locking the thumbs above your head. And then we'll practice 20 rounds of Kapalabhati breathing, that quick exhaling out through the nose, like so. After the 20, we'll hold, and then we'll exhale to circle the arms back down alongside our hips. So let's begin together. Again, place the fists in each hand. Use your next inhale to circle the arms above your head. Lock the thumbs at the very top. And then begin 20 rounds of Kapalabhati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold at the top without tension in your face. And then exhale, slowly release the arms down alongside your body. Once again, inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Lock at the very top. Kapalabhati breathing, begin. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold at the top without tension. Exhale, slowly release your arms alongside your body. One more like that. Inhale, circle the arms up. Lock at the top. Kapalabhati breathing. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold. Take 3 sips of air through your nose. 3 sips of air to your mouth, through your mouth. Hold again. And slowly release, exhale. Close the eyes down for just a moment. Let the fingers come out nice and free. And just notice just any energetic shift within your body, a little bit more heat within. Then use your next inhale to reach both arms towards the sky. Then as you exhale, lower your right hand down. Sweep your left arm right alongside the ear for a nice open side stretch. So you can walk the fingertips out just a little bit further towards the right as you soften the elbow closer to the mat. But then reestablish more grounding against your left sit bone as you reach and extend. Now take your left hand behind your head, and as you exhale, curl your elbow downward towards your right knee. And then inhale, open it back up. Exhale, curl inward. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, go ahead and curl inward. Now hold right there. Find this rounding of the spine as you hollow out your belly. And then reach your left arm out and then just reach it along the floor. Maybe you'll reach it even further as you reground your left sit bone. From here, go ahead and reach your left arm up and then back behind you just a bit. Create that same thumbs up, turning the thumb to the sky. Then as you exhale, turn the thumb down towards the mat, towards the very back behind you. Then rotate the thumb forward and back to the sky, maybe all the way towards the back. So you're creating internal and external rotation at your shoulder. So try that a few more times, turning the thumb forward and then back. Turning the thumb forward and up and back. One more like that. Pause with the thumb directly up to the sky and then straighten out through the spine, keeping the arm out to the side. This time, go ahead and open up the palm. Take your right hand, find your collarbone right beneath the collarbone, and then run 2 fingers along the collarbone until you hit the head of the shoulder, that big muscly part right here. From here, go ahead and bend at the elbow at a 90-degree angle, and you can look at that to see that you've got the shoulder in line with your elbow crease. Keep holding on to this point of your shoulder joint, and as you exhale, so you can start to draw that arm downward towards the mat, and then bring the arm back up. And I invite you to look at the hand to notice if you start to flex at the wrist. So you can keep the wrist in line with the forearm as you're doing so. Your hand and on that shoulder head, you even start to notice if you have tightness in the shoulder, it might start to lift. So use your hand as a guide so you can keep that shoulder head in its place. Next time the hand is down, pause right there. Again, take a look to see if there's flexion at the wrist. Notice if your shoulder head has started to lift, so you can drop that shoulder head down. Then from here, cross your left palm over your right. So you're just crossed at the chest, hands right at the heads of the shoulders. Imagine like you've got this, like those floaty rings. What's that called? Like a lifeguard ring wrapped right around your bottom part of your rib cage. And then start to roll your chest forward over the front part of that ring. And then roll yourself over towards the right part of the ring. And then roll it to the very back. Even let your head fall back slightly as you roll yourself all the way to the left and then forward. And then try that again. So you're just isolating movement more in through your thoracic. These are called CARs, controlled articular rotations to help kind of move around and through our joints. After you've done maybe about 3, pause and straighten through the spine. Bring both arms up overhead. Then as you exhale, take the side stretch towards your left. So walk your left fingertips out. Extend your right arm alongside your ear. Really root down against your right sit bone as you reach and find space to your right side waist. Then place the hand right behind your head, and as you exhale, let's curl in and downward towards that left knee. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, curl inward. Inhale, open. Last one, curl in and now hold here. As you're rolling inward towards your leg, can you draw your navel center back behind you? And now reach your right arm forward on a diagonal, touch the floor, and so you can get more space into your right side. Swing that right arm up and a little bit further back behind you. Create that thumbs up in that hand. Then turn your thumb forward, down to the mat, and then back behind you to create internal rotation at the shoulder. And then go ahead and turn the thumb forward, up, and towards the back, finding external. Internal rotation, external rotation. One more like that. Turn the thumb to the sky, straighten the spine to center, open up your palm, take your left two fingers, slide it underneath your collarbone until you reach the head of the shoulder. Place your fingertips there firmly as you now create that cactus-like arm. Then go ahead and start to lower the fingertips downward to the mat. Again, if you need to, take a look at the wrist. You see I've got something on my wrist. I got roller skates recently. I am way too old for this, but I am determined to roller skate once again. So yes, I fell and kind of hurt myself a little bit on my wrist. So once your fingertips are pointing downward to the mat, pause. Again, take a look to see if the shoulder head is lifted so you can drop it down. Notice if there's flexion at the wrist. Nice. Then from here, we'll cross that right palm over, cross the palms over your chest. And again, imagine that little floaty and then roll your chest forward. This time, roll it over to the right, back behind you, over to the left, and forward. And just twice more, nice and easy. And notice if your pelvis starts to rotate along with you. So you can, again, isolate the movement just within the upper back. The next time, or the last time, straighten through the spine, sweep both arms up overhead as you inhale. Exhale, slide the hands to the heart, Samastitihi. Let's meet on our hands and knees and then move through a few cat-cows once you arrive there. So really organic cat-cows, you decide if you want to just make them your traditional method or if you want to sway a few times into your hips. And maybe even play with really moving from tailbone to crown. And then crown through the spine all the way to the tailbone. So a lot of times we just kind of pop the pelvis and the head up at the same time. So you can just kind of feel a little bit more of that articulation through every vertebra. And then after you've done a few, let's pause neutral. Walk each hand forward, just about half a handprint forward, and we'll curl the toes under. Keep the knees bent as you press your chest toward your thighs, almost like you're in a hovering tabletop, a hovering child's pose. Actively push your mat down and forward, knees and shins off the mat, and then hollow out a little bit through the belly so you can feel like the top of rim of your pelvis is just hovering over your both thighs. Keep both knees bent as you start to lift the hips up towards the sky as much as you can, coming into this bent leg version of a down dog. And then straighten out just your left leg as you push your left heel closer to the mat. And then switch that up, left knee bent, right leg a bit straighter. Switch once again, right knee bent, left heel closer to the mat. Keeping that right knee bent, take your right knee towards your left tricep, shifting your weight forward. Three-legged downward dog, reach the leg back and up in the air, and then bend at your knee and stack your right hip on top of the left, and then do what feels good here. If that means rotations in the hip, movement at the knee, through the ankle and the toes. Next inhalation, let's straighten out through the leg. Steer your left hip crease back so you feel your left side waist just as long as your right side waist. Next exhale, let's step the foot forward to the top. Tap the back knee down to the mat and inhale, lift the chest up. As you exhale, straighten out through both legs for a long pyramid stance. Once again, lunge forward, just tap the back knee down and then lift the heart up. Then straighten through both legs. Last one here, tap that back knee down, zip the chest up, look up. This time we'll hold the pyramid stance, and if you can keep it a longer stance, please do. Understand if you need to hop that back foot in a little closer. Now we're just opening up our bodies, so try not to strain here. Allow your inner thighs to rotate back. One more deep breath. Now go ahead and lunge back into your front knee. Tap that back knee down once again, but this time pivot your left foot around and then come up into this mini version of Warrior Two. Place your left hand to your hip and your right hand on top of your right thigh and just simply guide the leg forward to sink the pelvis a little further forward and then shift your weight back to stack the pelvis over the back knee. And then again, just simply gliding the pelvis forward, getting that stretch to the inner hamstrings. And then back. Last one, sink and then back. Open up the arms out wide and now reverse this shape. Maybe you'll tap your left fingertips towards the very back of the mat, reaching your right arm up and alongside your ear. Exhale, we'll windmill the hands down to create half split. So go ahead and spin your left foot behind the knee as we straighten through that right leg. Go ahead and dig the heel down against the mat and isometrically try to drag the heel back to really fire up the back chain of that right leg. Decide to stay upright or take a few moments hinging forward and down towards the leg. Take one more breath. With your inhale, let's lift the chest, look up. As you exhale, lunge into the knee, plant your palms flat. Let's all step back into a plank pose. Shoulder heads directly over the wrists, collarbones wide, feeling the shoulder blades wide on the back with that slight doming of the back. Feel here as your crown reaches forward, your tailbone extends back towards that space in between your inner heels. Let's go ahead and rock our weight forward to the big toes. Lower the knees down. See if you can keep the pelvis where it is as you start to lower down. So less likely to drop the pelvis before we lower everything. Once you arrive to your mat, slide each hand off to the sides, tense your fingertips as you box out through your elbows, and then inhale, drag your rib cage forward and up. Drop your left shoulder head towards the mat and look over your right shoulder. Inhale through the center. Exhale, drop your right shoulder and then look over to the left. Inhale, come back in through the center. Then as you exhale, feel your low ribs touch before your chest, your chin, your forehead do. Slide each hand onto the mat and then place them more by your low ribs so your elbows are in line with both wrists. Feel like you're dragging both hands back as you inhale to come into Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. So you can draw the shoulder heads down, keeping the collarbones wide. And then exhale, chest down, hips back, Child's Pose. All right, from your child's pose, separate the feet and then curl the toes under. Come back to that hovering child. So push against the mat to hover both knees and shins. So you can hollow out space through your belly to feel the pelvis lifted off your thighs. Then keep the knees bent as you start to pick the pelvis up higher into this bent leg version of a down dog. Then bend just your right knee, push your left heel flat. Bend the left knee, push your right heel flat. Keeping the left knee bent, take the knee to your right elbow. Three-leg dog as you inhale, bend at the knees, stack it up and move around. Then after you've moved around into the leg and the joints, hug the knee to the chest. We'll step that foot forward to the top. Tap the right knee down, lift the chest up as you inhale. Exhale, pick the knee up to straighten both legs and fold. Again, inhale, tapping through the knee and lifting through the chest. Exhale, straighten out through both legs. How about we do one more? Tap and look up. This time, hold your pyramid stance. Long is be preferred. Otherwise, you can always hop the back foot in. Any variation in the arms, it helps us serve for more balance as you're here. Go ahead and bend into your front knee now, and we'll lower the back knee to the mat once again, but this time pivot the foot behind the knee, and then windmill open into this little version of a Warrior Two. Right hand to your hip, left hand to your thigh, and then use your hand on that thigh to guide the knee forward to sit a little deeper into your pelvis, and then shift your weight back. And just twice more like that, nice and easy, shifting weight forward and back. Last one. This time, free the arms out wide, and now reverse this shape. Reach that right arm back. It doesn't necessarily have to touch the mat, but can you feel the space in your left side waist? With your exhale, both hands windmill forward, and we spin the right foot around to create our half split now. So again, straighten through that left leg, pressing the heel down, flaring the toes to the sky, and then making your way down. Use your next inhale, lift the chest, look forward. As you exhale, lunge into the knee and plant your palms flat. Go ahead and step back nice and clean to plank pose. Once again, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, eyes, the elbows rotate forward so you feel your triceps wrap back toward your pinky toes. Really stay contained in your core center as if your lower ribs are trying to touch the top rim of your pelvis. Once again, rock your weight forward to your big toes, knees down if you need to, lower all the way down or halfway. Cobra or upward facing dog as you inhale. This time, downward facing dog as you exhale. Take a few moments here with both hands, both feet on the mat, all 4 points of contact onto the ground. Feel how the hands push down and forward as your biceps wrap forward like the eyes, the elbows trying to look to the sky. Once you create that rotation in the arm bones, see if you can keep your shoulder blades wide on the back and your front ribs contained inward. From here, go ahead and come high into the bottoms of your toes, and then slowly walk forward to the very top of your mat to come into a standing forward fold, keeping your feet separated at sit bones distance. Line the fists in between the feet if you need to determine the stance, and let's go ahead and grab for opposite elbows. Take a moment here, arms dangling, head dangling, soft bend in both knees, maybe even some swaying motions from side to side, just kind of playing with how you feel weight against the heels, the inner heels, outer heels, the toes. Then from here, release your arms. Start to bend both knees and reach the arms forward. Maybe you can just tap your fingertips to the floor in front of you. Shift your weight more against your heels, and you can see I have all 10 toes lifted as I'm grounded down through my heels and the ball mounts of my feet. Then from here, so you can keep that deep squat as you start to reach the arms forward and up, coming into Utkatasana chair pose. Can you try to reach out further from the pinky sides of your arms to help lengthen a little bit more through your side waist? Then as you exhale, come into half chair. So as you fold and extend your chest over your legs, let's reach both arms behind us. Now as you inhale to bring the arms alongside the ears again, let's pick up the left knee, not so much into a full crane, but enough to now tap the ball of the foot over your right, or your left leg over your right leg to tap the ball of the foot down. Then exhale, once again, reach both arms behind you as you fold your chest over your legs. From here, bring your hands to your heart space. And as you exhale, let's curtsy squat this left leg. So sweep it around and tap the ball of the foot just a little to the right, and it might land off mat. And then sit your weight down as you feel both knees bent. Actively push against your front foot and inhale. Now come into a crane pose and then place your hands around the left shin bone. So you can pull the leg in just a little bit closer so the knee lifts higher, creating a deeper flexion at your hip. And then notice too if you start to kind of round, so you can keep the spine nice and strong. Feel how your standing leg, the quads are engaged, and your outer right hip hugging into the midline. Now when you release the leg, we'll step the left foot back to come into low lunge. Use your hands to the ground if you need to, and then inhale, lift the chest up, the arms overhead. Feel free to sit the pelvis down and forward. You feel that lift of the upper body. Extend a bit further from the pinky sides of both hands. With your exhale, interlace your hands behind your back and then place the fist just outside of your left hip. Your right arm will stay behind your back as you inhale to reach the left arm to the sky. And then exhale, take a big side stretch over towards your right. Maybe look over your right shoulder. From here, as you unravel, exhale, both hands come down, framing your front foot. Once again, straighten your right leg out for that half split, but this time walk your hands over to the right. It helps to kind of pivot your back foot off the mat so you're not twisting in through that back knee. But then come to the pinky outer edge rather of your right heel and push that down against the mat. Nice. As we pivot back forward to the top, lunge into your front knee, plant your palms, three-legged downward dog, sweep your right leg back and up in the air. Then as you exhale, tap the ball of your right foot right behind your left heel. Keeping the ball left heel down so you can bend the left knee and then push your right heel a little flatter to the mat. Nice. From here, down dog, step your right foot next to your left foot. Inhale, lift the left leg back and up in the air. Exhale, knee to nose, curl out and round your spine as you bring your thigh to your belly and your chest. Inhale, three-legged dog, reach long. Exhale, hug the knee to the chest and round. Inhale, reach a leg back and up. This time as you bring the knee forward, lower the knee to the mat right underneath your left hip, and then lift your right leg behind you. Flex the foot, toes down to the mat. Reach your left arm forward to the front of the room, turning the thumb to the sky. So push down against your right palm, push down against the top of your left foot and shin. Then as you exhale, left elbow and the right knee will come together to touch. Inhale, reach and extend out nice and long. Exhale, hug it in and around. Again, reach out long. Exhale, hug it in and round. And then keep the knee in hugging in. Place your left hand onto the shin. And so you can hug that leg in just a little closer, just creating a deeper flexion at that right hip. We'll keep the right knee bent. We'll release it. Swing your left arm forward, up, and around. And so you can catch a hold of that foot. Once you grab a hold of that foot, kick the foot against the hand. Shift your gaze to look forward. Notice if you're starting to twist to look left, so you can keep your shoulders squaring forward. Take one more breath. On your inhale, release the leg and reach the arm out nice and long. From here, lower the left forearm down to the mat. Keep your right leg lifted. Curl the left toes under and come into this down dog this way. And then bend into your right knee. Stack your left hip on top of the right. And then so you can even start to turn the chest towards your right a little bit more. Really firmly root down against that left elbow, forearm, and left hand. Straighten through the leg. Come back into a downward facing dog. Stay right here, or if you like, slide forward to plank. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job, guys. Take another breath in your downward dog. Then inhale, lift the heels, look towards your hands. Walk, step, or hop forward towards your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Fold it forward as you exhale. Once again, separate the feet at sit bones distance. Bend deeply into your knees. Reach the arms forward and then up for Utkatasana in a wider stance. So you can feel like you're zipping your navel center towards your heart, and then keep that uplift all the way towards the pinkies of your hands. As you exhale, arms reach back as we hover in half chair. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then pick up your right foot, cross the right leg over the left leg to tap the toe down, and then exhale, reach both arms behind you once again. Bring your hands to the heart as you inhale. Then as you exhale, find the curtsy squat. So swing that right leg all the way to the right, and then tap the ball of the foot towards the left. So you can bring your hips closer towards the mat, sitting deeper into the pose. Then push against your front foot. Inhale, bring your right knee up, and then bring the hands to wrap around your right shin bone. Pull that right leg in a little closer towards your chest as the knee lifts. And then notice the standing leg. Rather than locking at the knee, really firm up the quadriceps as you're pushing the thigh bone back. So you're creating more of that natural curve in your low back. Then as you exhale, it's low lunge. Just step that right foot back. Hands or no hands, we lower the knee down. Inhale, lift the chest and lift the arms overhead. Again, once you're here, decide if you want to stay heavy through the pelvis or shift it back, but feel the scissoring of the inner thighs as they hug to the midline. From here, let's interlace the fingers now behind our back, and then slide both fists over towards your right hip. Keep the left arm right behind you. Inhale, seat the right arm to the sky. Exhale, let's find that side stretch left. Feel free to gaze over your left shoulder. Through the center on an inhale, let's reach the arms overhead. Exhale, half split once again, straighten through the front leg, but then walk your hands towards the left. Once again, you can pivot the right foot off the mat as you come to the outer part of your left heel, firmly pushing against the heel, and then isometrically dragging it back towards your hip. Let's come back forward now to bend into the front knee as you inhale. Find that three-legged downward dog, sweeping your left leg back and up in the air. Then tap the ball of that left foot right behind your right heel. Bend just your right knee to push the left heel flatter and even aim the chest closer toward your right thigh bone. And just step the left foot to meet the right foot so you're in a downward facing dog. Right leg will lift in the air as you inhale. Knee to nose as you exhale. Shift your weight forward and pull the chest in the belly close to touch. Inhale, reach the leg up high. Exhale again, knee to nose, hug it in. Inhale, reach that leg. This time as you bring your knee in, drop the knee down underneath your hips. Spinal balance, extend that left leg back and your right arm forward. Again, really tone up through the belly. Knit your front ribs towards your back ribs. Then as you exhale, right elbow and the left knee will come to touch. Inhale, reach and extend long. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Reach, extend. Exhale, elbow and the knee touch. Wrap your right hand to the shin and see if you can help that leg come closer towards your chest and belly. Keep that left knee bent. When you release, reach your right arm forward, up and around. Catch a hold at left foot right behind you. Actively kick the foot against the hand. Then feel how it opens to your right shoulder, keeping your collarbones wide. The gaze is forward. Release on your next inhale for spinal balance, reaching the arm and reaching the leg long. Keep the left leg lifted as you lower your right forearm down to the mat. Curl the right toes under for this three-legged downward dog shape, and then bend your left knee open through the hip. Feel free to take the gaze to the left if you like, but stay strong and anchored against that right elbow, keeping the shoulder away from your ear. Set the left foot down, downward dog. Go ahead and fix it up. Once again, you decide, vinyasa through, or just stay in a downward facing dog. And once you're back into home base, once again, take a moment to feel the contact against the mat, allowing yourself to remain grounded and rooted. Each time something lifts away, you feel yourself just connected back to the center. Empty out and exhale now. Inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees, use your exhale to walk, step, or hop forward to your hands. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Both feet separate back to that Utkatasana and reach your arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, Ardha, reach both arms behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up, pick that left foot up, tap the ball of the foot over. Exhale, arms sweep back. Inhale, hands to the heart. Curtsy squat as you exhale. Sweep that leg around, tap the ball of the foot towards your right. This time add a twist, tap that left elbow to your right knee. Take your gaze to the right. Draw the shoulder heads away from the ears, allowing the neck to lengthen. One more breath. Let's unravel to that crane, but this time reach the arms up overhead and then see if you can lift that left knee higher, creating that deep flexion as we did with the hands right around the shins, doing it on your own without any movement or adjustment in the pelvis. Both sit bones looking to the mat. One more breath. Now as you exhale, reach your left arm forward, your left leg back, and your right arm will swing back, so you're in this open arm kind of variation in a leaning lunge. Then come back to that crane, reach both arms up, lift that left knee higher towards your chest. Try it once again. As you step back, left arm forward, right arm back. Hold right there. Then inhale, let that left arm guide you up to face left. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Drop your left hand down, reach your right arm alongside your ear for a side stretch. Inhale through the center, extend the arms up. Take your side stretch over to your right. Inhale through the center, transverse to your left. Turn the left toes out, hands come down to the heart as you slowly lower. Feel free to use your hands to come on down. Take a few moments here, maybe keeping the chest lifted, pressing your thumbs to the sternum. You're on the heel, the front foot, toes to the sky to allow that nice stretch of your inner thigh. Beautiful, guys. Place both hands down to the mat. As you lift your hips up to center, lateral lunge to your right. So turn your right toes up, bend the knee, but keep your back foot flat. And then left hand will come by the foot, but turn the fingertips forward. Reach your right arm up to the sky. From here, we'll transition into what would be your side plank. So you decide how it will look. Maybe you'll take a pit stop halfway through, or you'll go ahead and stack your right leg on top of your left leg and extend your right arm alongside your ear. Keep both hip points facing the same direction as your chest rather than to the sky. One more deep breath. Use your exhale, close your pose to plank. See that your shoulders are over the wrists, and either down dog or vinyasa through. Take one more breath. Then inhale, lift the heels, bend at your knees, walk, step, or hop forward to your hands. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Dive it down and forward fold. Separate the feet once again, bend the knees deeply. Inhale, come back to your chair pose. Reach the arms up, lift the gaze. Exhale, half. Reach both arms behind you and lengthen. As you inhale, left foot stays, lift the right knee up, arms up. Tap the ball of the foot over, cross at the legs, and exhale, both arms reach behind you. Move the hands to the heart as you inhale. Use your exhale for curtsy squat. Tap the ball of the foot all the way to the left. Then add a twist. Right elbow towards the knee. Turn and open up towards your left. Baby gaze up towards the sky. Nice. Unravel here. Inhale. Pick that right knee up to the chest. Draw the knee up as close as you can without tipping the pelvis into a cat tilt. So as you lift the knee up high, feel both sit bones looking down firmly to the mat. With your next exhale, step the ball of the right foot back, right arm will reach forward, left arm will swing right behind you. Back to that crane. Inhale, push against the left foot, lift your right knee as high as it will go. Exhale again, step the ball of the right foot back, right arm forward, left arm back, hold. Use your next inhale now to reach up, pivot towards your right, turn the toes to face the right edge of your mat, find your side stretch, right hand down the leg, left arm alongside your ear. Inhale through the center, other way as you exhale. Inhale, bring the arms up, palms touch. Transverse lunge, skandasana to your right leg. Again, decide if you need your hands to help you down. And then once you arrive, pivot to the heel of the front foot. Move the hands towards your heart space and lift that chest to the sky. Place both hands down. Inhale through the center to find lateral lunge to your left. So turn the left toes out. Keep both feet flat. Slide your right hand forward. Turn the fingertips forward. And then reach your left arm to the sky. From here, it's side plank, your variation. So start to unravel. Maybe again, the left foot steps about halfway, or you'll stack your right leg on top of the left. Once you're here, notice a lot of times our pelvis wants to look towards the sky. See if you can keep both hip points facing forward. Top arm can extend alongside the ear if you'd like. Beautiful poses, guys. Go ahead and close your pose to plank pose now and decide back to down dog your way. Nice. Take a moment and walk your hands back towards your feet at the very back of your space. Keeping those feet still separated, you'll clip onto your big toes now, Padangusthasana. With your next inhalation, so you can lengthen your torso out just a bit, then exhale, fold forward and down. So you can lift the heads of the shoulders away from both ears so you feel your shoulder blades set on the back. And then point your elbows behind you rather than off to the right and the left so that you can actually feel your shoulder blades on the back a bit more. Beautiful. Release that. Now slide each hand underneath the soles of your feet. Padangusthasana. Slide the whole hand under so that you feel the toes touch the wrists and see them touch the wrists. And then again, exhale, fold right in. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release each hand. Walk yourself all the way forward to a plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists. Vinyasa through or lift the hips, downward facing dog. With your next inhale, let's lift the right leg back and up. With your exhale, take your right knee towards your left elbow. This time, extend the leg out straight to the left at 9 o'clock. Stay here or revolve side plank. Spin your back foot flat. Reach your left arm up and then alongside the ear and lengthen your outer body. Now listen first. Look down to the mat. Place your left hand down first. Square the hips as you pivot onto the ball of the back foot. And now step your left foot just outside your left pinky toe at the back. Bend both knees in this little cross version of a down dog. Then look forward towards your hands. Let's slide the right hand a little bit more towards the middle of the mat. You can either stay here, or as you spin your feet towards your left, unravel, you'll end up in a flip dog version with both knees bent, inner thighs rotating down to the mat. Nice. Spin it back and around and find down dog. Left hand down, step your right foot outside your left foot, fix that down dog out, and then inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step the foot forward, spin the back heel flat for Vira A, Warrior One. Find that lunge in through that front knee, gliding the knee towards that front heel. At the same time, wrapping your right hip crease back as the thigh bone hugs back into the hip socket. From here, reverse your Warrior One so the right arm reaches back towards your back heel. Reach the left arm up. Feel that space to the left sideways. And then twist it from here. Take the elbow towards the knee. Maybe if you need to, pick up that back heel. Otherwise, keep it grounded if you can as you find your rotation towards your right. Right hip, hug it back into the midline. It likes to stick out. One more breath. Use your inhale, unravel this. Let's all face the left once again. Turn all 10 toes to long edge. Drop your left hand down again. Reach your right arm alongside the ear. Inhale, center, arms sweep to the sky. Side stretch right as you exhale. Inhale up through the center. Exhale once again, Skandasana to the very back of the mat. This time, thread your left arm in front of your left shin. Reach your right arm up in the air. With your exhale, bring both hands down. Come to center towards Prasarita Padottanasana. Turn all 10 toes forward. Right hand will come underneath your nose. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky. Find a hand to floor rotation. And then feel your right side of the pelvis. Push it to the sky so you can find some more balance in the hips. Now, as you exhale, swing your left arm in front of your right arm to eagle wrap the arm bones. Then once you wrap up your arms in eagle, let them feel heavier to the mat. Shift more of your weight forward to the fronts of your heels. Use the weight of your arm bones to create some opening into the upper back. Now hold on to your eagled arms. On your inhale, come all the way up to stand. Turn your toes out, heels in, goddess out your legs with eagled out arms. Nudge your elbows and outer wrists forward as you keep your shoulder heads down and away from both ears. So you can sit a little deeper into your hips as the inner knees more move towards your pinky toes. Then lift your right heel off the mat and lower. Lift the left heel off the mat and lower. Both heels off the mat or one at a time again and hold. Lower both heels down. Keep the goddess squat and then flush the arms out wide and up to the sky. Inhale. Nice. Swing your left arm to the back and let it guide you to face forward towards a high lunge. Left arm reaches forward and then up to the sky. Adjust your feet if you feel you're on a tightrope. Get that good balance. From here, bend your left elbow above your head, right hand to the elbow, half Gomukhasana where I will stay. Otherwise, maybe full Gomukhasana where that right arm comes right behind your back. So you can knit your front ribs towards your back ribs as your head pushes up against your left arm bone. Use your next exhale to lean forward, pointing the elbow forward, the tailbone back. And here you might stay or make this a warrior three. Pick up your back leg. It serves to keep the front knee just slightly bent to really work on using your glute med and glute minimus as a way to really stabilize the right hip for stability. With your next exhale, take a step back, warrior one, release the arms, reach them up overhead, big breath as you extend the gaze to your thumbs, and then exhale, hands come down to frame the foot, step it back, option vinyasa or straight to downward dog. And take a few moments in your down dog, just feeling the pace of your breath, movement of our body, creating heat within. Lift the left leg in the air as you inhale. Exhale, take your left knee towards your right elbow. Extend the leg out to the side. Stay right there or revolve side plank. Back foot grounds. Reach your right arm up and alongside your ear. Nudge your right rim of the pelvis to the sky. Really emphasize that big right side waist opening. Keep the leg where it is as you place your right hand to the mat. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot first. Then go ahead and slide the left foot just outside your right pinky toe. Bend both knees deeply, just kind of like we did in the Uttatasanas earlier. Stay here or bring your left hand more to the middle of the mat. Spin your toes right until you unravel, both feet flat. You end up in this flip dog with both knees bent. Reach forward to the front of the room. Nice. Back to down dog. Unravel that right hand down. Step your left foot next to your right foot. Set your feet, set your stance. Left leg lifts in the air. Inhale. Step it to the top. Virasana A. Back heels rooted, grounded. And inhale, lift the chest and lift the arms overhead. Feel here as you anchor firmly into your back heel, your right inner thigh, the inseam of your pants rotates back behind you. Then feel a lift of both hip points up towards your chest. Nice. From here, reverse this warrior one. Right hand reaches back. It doesn't necessarily have to reach for the thigh, but as you create this little diagonal in your arm bones, feel the rotation from the thoracic. Then prayer twist it out. Right elbow to the knee. Feel free to pick up the back foot if you need to as you turn and open. Nice. Hug that left hip back into the midline. Your butt cheek wants to stick out. There you go. Beautiful. Unravel the face to the right. Straighten the legs. Reach the arms overhead. All 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Then exhale. Right arm down your leg. Reach your left arm alongside your ear. Arms reach to the sky in your next breath in. Exhale. Lean it left. Inhale through the center. Transverse to the back. Bend into your right knee deeply. Sit the hips low. Once you arrive there, thread your right arm in front of your right shin. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Look to find that thumb as you widen out the collarbones. With your next exhale, place both hands to the mat. Lift your hips up to center. Straighten throughout both legs. Slide your left hand underneath your nose and inhale. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Drive the shoulder blades on your back. Maybe lift your left hip up just a bit. With your exhale, eagle, wrap your right arm over your left arm. Tie up the arm bones and then feel heavy and weighted through the arms. Shift a little bit more of your weight further forward to the fronts of your heels, kind of challenging out a bit of balance, but shifting your pelvis forward a bit more. Hold on to the arm bones. Use your next inhale, come up out of the pose. Goddess sit out, turn the toes out, heels in. I'm just going to turn around so I can face you guys. All right, once you're in goddess, again, press your elbows forward, shoulder heads down and away from the ears. So you can sit a little lower into the pelvis, keep moving the inner knees back to the pinky toes. This time so you can hover both heels off the mat. Lift them as high as they will go. Sit a little deeper into your pelvis. Lift the elbows up and forward. Hold another 3, 2. Gently lower the heels. Keep the knees bent. Flush the arms open. Inhale. Then as you exhale, sweep your right arm to the back, forward in front of you until you pivot yourself forward. High lunge. Land on the ball of the back foot. Then hold that high lunge stance. Adjust the feet if you need to. Bend your right elbow above your head. Left hand to the elbow to stay here. Or wrap that left arm behind back to find the right fingertips for Gomukhasana. Once you set yourself up in your arm bones of choice, knit your front ribs to your back ribs. And really keep your core strong. Let's now lean forward as you exhale. Keep pushing the back of the head against that right arm bone. Decide to stay here, or maybe you'll be Virasana 3. Pick up your back leg. Flex the foot so the toes are turned down to the mat. Keep pushing your head up against that right arm bone. Collarbone still wide. Rib cage hugging toward your back arm bone. As you exhale, take a step back and land the foot flat so you can come on up for warrior one. Flush those arms open. Reach into the sky. Gaze to your thumb line. Then let all this go as you exhale. Hands come down, vinyasa through, or skip it all together. All right, from here, lower your knees to the mat. Feel free to take one of your blocks just to pause in Vajrasana, or if you'd like, even Virasana. So you can take the calves out a little wider, heels just outside of your hips, sitting down into Virasana Hero's Pose. Right? And once you arrive here, rest your hands on your thighs and even push down against the thighs so you can actually access a little bit more length in the spine without lifting the shoulder heads. And then keep that length, knitting the front ribs to the back ribs. Rest your hands on the thighs. Stay if you'd like. Those of you who want to move a little bit further, a little deeper, can start to move the hands back, maybe lowering down to your forearms, or if you can, lowering all the way down onto your backs. Notice if your knees and shins have popped off the mat, that's your indicator that you've gone too far. So keep your shins grounded. So if you have to take it a notch up, take it a notch up to keep those legs rooted. Even gaze forward. Notice the knees. They want to split out wide to the edges of the mat. Point the knees forward so they correspond with your thigh bones and your hip points. Take away extra tension in your face. Separate the teeth in your mouth and just simply breathe deep. We'll take one more breath. Nice. From here, if you're on your back, go ahead and slowly use your elbows to push up and then walk yourself all the way forward to a tabletop position. Extend your right leg back, push out through the heel, and then rock your way forward and back. Pick that right foot up, bend at the knee to slide your right shin right behind your left knee crease. So tuck it in there. It kind of fits in nice and close. And then push your hips back to squeeze out the legs. So you squeeze out that left calf. Shift your weight forward. Work that right shin down a little bit more to the middle part of the calf or towards the bottom of the calf. And then shifting the weight back again. Bring it forward, release your right knee and shin to the mat. Now extend your left leg back behind you. Keep the toes curled under as you just simply rock forward and back. Then lift the left foot up, slide the shin right behind your right shin. Again, make it fit like a little puzzle piece. And then sit your hips back, squeeze out that right calf. Bring your weight forward, walk the calf down or rock the shin down a bit. And again, push your hips back. Coming back into the center, left knee next to your right knee, tabletop position. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest and lift the tailbone. Curl out and round as you exhale for your cat's pose. One more like that, inhaling. And then exhaling. Notice if you're starting to rush, make it very slow, articulate the movement. Inhale, pause into neutral. Each hand walks forward, downward facing dog with your next exhale. From here, inhale, lift your left leg up in the air. With your next exhale, hug your knee in towards your chest, curl out and round. Inhale, reach the leg back in the air. Exhale, lower, bring the knee forward and then lower the knee and shin down back to the mat again. Lift your right leg up, keep a flex of the back foot and pull your low belly in and up. And then sweep your right leg to the right. So all 5 toes will look forward. Notice you're starting to crunch into your right side or to collapse. So you can lengthen your right side waist, even lift the right rib cage away from your mat. Now lower the right foot down to the floor. Curl the left toes under, the ones on the mat. Walk each hand forward, one handprint forward. Then as you exhale, push your hips back so your left sit bone reaches towards your left heel. With your next inhale, straighten your back knee out, lift it, and keep your shoulders over the wrists. So it's like a staggered plank. Tap the left knee down, exhale, hips back. Inhale, lift the knee, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, tap the knee, hips back. Inhale, lift the knee, shoulders over the wrist, hold. Now from here, lift your right leg off the ground, sweep it all the way up, back behind you, like a dog, bend the knee, stack your right hip on top of your left. Inhale, straighten through the legs, square off the hips, step forward in between your thumbs. It's warrior 2 on your next inhale. Open up nice and wide within the arms, stacking your upper body directly over the pelvis. Stamp the heels firmly against the mat and isometrically squeeze them into the midline. And let's turn the right palm and we'll inhale, reverse warrior. Reach your right arm up and alongside your ear, keeping the lunge into that front leg. Exhale, Parshvakonasana, your version of it, whether you want to take a pit stop on the thigh rather, or lowering the hand inside or outside of the foot. Once you're here, feel your front heel push and then drag towards your back heel. Not only to give some power and foundation into your posture, but see if that helps you find more space in your right side waist. Let's reverse our triangle this time. So straighten through the front knee without locking it. Reach your right arm up and alongside your ear. And then move right into triangle trikonasana. So pivot and lengthen out. Feel free to use a prop or place the hand gently against your shin. Drive your right shoulder blade onto the body. And sometimes too, your bottom hand, maybe even turn the hand so the thumb turns forward a little bit. That will encourage that right collarbone to widen a little bit more. Let's take one more breath. From here, gaze it downward. You can bring your left hand to the hip if you like for a half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Always know that a block is really handy here if you want to place it underneath your right hand. But make sure that you adjust the block and your hand accordingly so it lines up with your right shoulder. When you feel good and ready and balanced, reach that top arm to the sky. Now reach your left arm alongside the ear so you feel length from your fingers all the way to your left pinky toe. Then as you exhale, elbow to knee, hug it in. Inhale, reach and extend. Elbow to knee as you exhale. Inhale, reach and extend. Exhale, elbow to knee so you can make that firm connection. And then slide the hand to hold your shin. Go ahead and square off the hips so you can come up to stand. Push against your right foot. Wrap both hands around your left shin bone like we had done earlier. And then pull the knee up closer towards your chest. Create that deep flexion at the hip. When you release your shin, it's standing pigeon. Cross the right ankle over your right thigh. Keep a firm flex on that left foot. Stabilize the knee as you hinge from the hips and hug your right hip back into the midline. Now you can either stay here or add a twist, bringing that left elbow to the sole of the foot, maybe even to the heel, and then turn your chest towards your right. One more breath. Gaze it downward. Go ahead and slide your left foot down just outside of your right pinky toe. Hands to the mat or to the block. As you walk your hands to the left, nudge your hips to the right. Place your right hand onto your left forearm. And then as you're holding onto the forearm, so you can actually feel a little bit more length of your right sideways, kind of using this pull action. Beautiful. Let's release that. Walk both hands back in front of your toes, and then walk them all the way to the right. Pivot onto the balls of your feet so you can unravel your feet so you're facing back, and then toe heel the feet out wide. Sit on down Balasana squat. Snuggle the arms inside your inner knees. Move the hands to the heart. Then you have an option to play here. So if you want, you can practice Bakasana, maybe in tripod headstand, or go back to that open arm variation, or even go deeper, maybe binding around each shin. And that's the one I'll do because I've got a bum wrist today. So if you're moving to Bakasana, you're moving to tripod, ensure you've got that strong foundation, that triangular shape from the crown of the head to the hands. If you're binding with me, let's take it to the other side. These look great. Nice, Nancy. You're at the back here, so nowhere to really jump. Even though you're at home, you're not going to hit anybody. But let's try not to jump. Come back to Malasana squat. And place the hands down. Lift the hips up high. Toe heel the feet back in at your hip width distance. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana monkey pose. Fold forward, exhale. Walk yourself all the way forward. Come into a plank pose. Decide to Vinyasa, or otherwise lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Back and down dog, we lift the right leg up high. Tuck it in, knee to nose, slide your shoulders over the wrists, pull your thigh close to your chest. Reach the leg back and up, inhale. This time as you exhale, bring the knee forward, but lower the knee to the mat underneath the hip. Lift your left leg up, firm flex of the foot, toes down. Again, notice you start to hammock through the midline, pull your low belly in and up. Turn your toes to the left and start to sweep your left leg off to the left. Notice right away when you start to crunch into your left side and stick your right hip out, so you can keep everything fairly balanced. Set that left foot down to the mat now. And now curl the right toes under. You'll walk each hand forward, a full handprint forward. And then push the hands forward as you send the hips back towards your right heel. Then just spring forward, come into the staggered plank. Shoulders over the wrist, back knee will lift. Chest is forward. Tap the back knee down. Exhale, shift your hips back. Inhale, come back to that staggered out plank. Exhale, lower the knee and reach the hips back. Inhale, come to that staggered out plank, hold. And then really push down to lift that left leg off the floor. Three-legged down dog, circle it back and up, bend the knees, stack up your hip. Inhale, straighten through the leg. Exhale, step the foot forward in between your hands. That's Vira B, Warrior 2. Windmill yourself up and open. Heel to arch or heel to heel. Shoulder line in line with our hip points. Beautiful. Taking the gaze forward to that left pinky or left middle finger. Flip the palm, reverse, inhale. Reach your left arm up and alongside your ear. With your exhale, it's your side angle Parshvakonasana. Again, maybe it's modified in its version. Maybe you'll extend it so the hand will lower inside or outside of your front foot. And as you're sweeping that top arm right along your ear, allow your outer arm to wrap inward toward your cheek. Notice how that keeps that right shoulder blade wide on the back as it's extending and helping the arm to reach further. Let's reverse our Trikonasana slow. Inhale, straighten the left leg out without hyperextending through that knee. And then we move to Trikonasana triangle pose. So pivot and lengthen. Rest the hand to the shin, maybe towards your block. And then scoop that top arm up. And so you can actually start to locate the thumb as you turn the head further. So both eyes are looking and finding that right thumb. Again, feel the shoulder blades onto the back. Both collarbones reaching out wide to each hand. Gaze it downward now, half moon. You can keep your right arm in the air, place it to the hip if you'd like as you shift and now lift. And then when you're ready, express out through that posture. Notice if your standing foot has rotated, turn the toes to face 12 o'clock. Keep a soft bend into the knees to really work on the strengthening of your glutes. Sweep your right arm alongside your ear as you inhale. Then as you exhale, tap the elbow and the knee to touch. Inhale, reach it out long. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow and the knee come to touch, make a better connection. Then slide your hand to your right shin, look down, square the hips so you can come up to stand, holding on to your right shin bone. Pit stop if you need it once you get there. Then as you're holding on to that shin, both sit bones looking down to the mat, spine is long and tall. Standing pigeon, cross the ankle over the thigh, hands move to the heart. And as you send your hips back, the sit bones back, lunge forward and lengthen. Notice right away if you feel your hips kind of cocking to one side, so you can square them up, hugging your left hip back into the midline. Then add your twist, so you can start to turn to your right. Maybe your arm bone lands into the arch of your right foot as you turn to face left. Last breath. Gaze down, hands down as you slide your right foot outside of your left pinky toe, crossing at the feet. Walk each hand over to the right, nudge your hips to the left, and relax your head. Stay here, or left forearm holds onto that, or left hand rather, to your right forearm, and then gently pull upon that arm. See if that helps you find more space to your left sideways as your left hip crease steers back. Release that. Walk your hands in front of your feet as you pivot to your toes, unravel. So then you're facing forward towards the front of your mat. Once again, Malasana squat. This time, walk your arms forward. Drop the head in between your arms. Feel free to stay here. If you're itching for another arm balance, again, Bakasana crow pose. Maybe it's Bakasana to another tripod. Maybe you'll practice Bakasana walks all the way to the top of your mat. Take your time, practice what is calling you today. Beautiful. I'll see you in child's pose. So if you're like me, you'll simply walk those arms forward so you can lower the knees and shins down. Toes touch, arms walk forward, and then maybe they walk and rest alongside your legs. Take a couple more moments here to allow your body to soften and ground from whatever your last posture was. Now let's reach both arms forward and then come onto your hands and knees once again, and then go straight to a downward facing dog. Now inhale, slide it forward to a plank pose. Lift your right foot off the mat and then tap the ball of foot behind your left leg, and then go ahead and lower your seat down. So it's almost like we were going into a wild thing, but we skipped over it. Right knee should be bent, left leg straight. Pick up your left foot, and if you need to, keep the knee bent coming into Kanchasana. And notice you'll be off the mat, but we're at home, so it doesn't even matter, right? So if you can manage it, maybe hold the sole of the foot, straighten out through that leg. Many of you are a little bit more flexy, and try not to force here, but if you can, go ahead and wrap your left hand around the sole of the foot. Left hand will hold your right wrist, and maybe you'll move a little bit deeper, taking the knee to the shin. That's it. Now from here, switch up the grip. Right hand will either hold the calf, the ankle, or the outside edge of your foot, and then reach your left arm back behind you. Keep your collarbones wide and feel that you're pushing your left heel firmly against your right hand. From here, lower the left hand to the mat. And now when you bend your right knee, slide the shin over to the left side of the mat as you drop your right knee down. I'll turn around in a moment, but you want to see in your legs is 90-90, much like deer pose. So I'll just turn around so it's the same as you. 90-90. Now, once you're here, walk your hands out, say to about 10 and 2 o'clock, out wide to the sides. And then as you bend your elbows out wide to the sides, lead from the chest and hinge forward. And then push against your fingertips and then hollow out the front body. Let the head to be the very last to come back up. And then try that again. Lead from the chest as you exhale. Hollow out the front body as you inhale to lift on up. Nice. One more. So again, some just movement through our spine. Once you're lifted, pause like so. Lean to your left hip and then sweep your right shin over your left shin. Come into Agni Stambhasana, double pigeon pose. Right? So if this pose is not inviting to you, you know you can always just step onto the sole of your left foot, come into a seated pigeon. Know that you can always use one of your props to close up that space and find connection between the knee and the knee and your foot. So if you are deciding to fold forward, rock your pelvis so your sit bones are back behind you and you can literally kind of reach back to spread the glutes a little wider. Then keep the pelvis in that direction to help the fold as you reach forward, and then lower the arms down towards your mat, or rather to the floor, or even down onto a block. And just take a few moments here, maybe even closing your eyes down. And it's always in these moments of pause where our mind wants to come in, but use these moments here as a deep reflection. And the conversation will continue. And if you start to find yourself frustrated by the conversation, then ask yourself more about that expression, that attitude, because it's quite obvious that the change needs to happen in our world in so many ways. And it always starts within you, changing your narrative, how you view things, and then also those around you, just kind of being a firm example of that. Take one more breath. All right, from here, let's start to make our way out of the pose. And then slide your right foot over your left leg, step onto the foot so you can unravel to find pyramid stance. I'll just do a little switch up so we're the same. Right foot forward, left leg back in pyramid. Inhale, look up, lengthen, wrap your right hip crease back. And then exhale, reach forward and down. Line your right rib cage, your right belly inside your right inner leg line. One more breath. And then inhale, lift the chest and lengthen out. As you exhale, take a big step back with the left foot so you're in a lunge. And then toe heel the foot out a little back so you can lower the knee down for lizard pose. Walk your right foot off to the right a bit. Maybe left hand down, right hand to the leg, nudge the leg away. Feel free to even lower the left forearm down if you'd like. And staying on the forearm or your left hand, let's reach your right arm forward, up, and around to catch a hold of the left foot. Flex the foot so your hand can kind of wedge right into that, the flexion of the ankle, so you've got a better grip. And then push that ankle against the hand, open up a little bit more to your chest. Release your back foot, swing your right hand forward. As you tidy up your right foot, step it back, downward facing dog. Once again, option to Vinyasa, or stay in a downward dog. From downward dog, inhale, glide forward to a plank. Pick up your left foot, tap the ball of your left foot behind your right leg, much like a wild thing. And once you do so, sit on down to the left edge of your mat. Left knee bent, right leg straight. Pick up that right leg. Again, you can always keep the knee bent if it's your hamstrings are tight. Otherwise, you can work the legs straight without rounding through your spine. Holding on to the leg where it's available to you, both sit bones grounded. Then once again, if you can manage to go just a little bit deeper, you'll wrap your right arm around the sole of the foot, and that right hand will grab a hold of your left wrist. And then maybe you'll bring that shin closer towards your face. From here, go ahead and place your left hand to the outside of your right leg. So it could be the calf, the ankle, or your foot. And then reach your right arm back. So again, as you're here, feel that you're pushing that foot against your left hand. Reach out long within your collarbones. Place your left hand to the mat, and as you bend your right knee, slide it forward. Drop that left knee down. So again, create those 90-degree angles in both legs, like deer pose. Then once you're set, go ahead and tent the hands out wide at 10 and 2. Once again, go ahead and articulate the spine. Reach forward to the chest first, and then push against the fingertips to hollow out the front body. Chin to the throat center, letting the head lift last. And again, just again, moving within, motion within the spine. Last one. When you're lifted, lean to your right hip. Bring your left shin over your right shin at the top. I'm going to switch legs so I can do my opposite leg. Left shin over the right shin. Again, maybe it's seated pigeon for you if the knee is a little too high, or otherwise wedge a prop in between the ankle and the knee. You're going to fold forward, tip your pelvis so that you could let your sit bones reach behind you, and then continue to walk the arms forward to lower the forearms down to the floor to a block. Again, your choice. We'll keep both feet flexed. Keep the face soft, your jaw relaxed, your tongue relaxed. Take one more breath. From here, go ahead and start to make your way out of the pose. Slide your left foot over your right leg, stepping forward for pyramid stance. Right foot steps out a little wide to the right, toes looking to about 2 o'clock. Inhale, lengthen, wrapping your left hip crease back. And then exhale, reach forward and down. Any variation of your arms, hands to the mat, maybe to blocks. You can always bind the arms behind the back. Let's inhale, look up. Exhale, create a lunge. Step your right foot back and toe heel the foot a little further back as you lower the knee. Walk your left foot out to the side. Place your left hand to the thigh and press it away from you. And then see, can we actually keep the sole of your left foot flat rather than rolling to the pinky edge of the foot where it sickles at your ankles. So still opening at the hip without compromising the ankle. You can always lower the right forearm down if that's available to you. Then stay or swing your left arm forward, up and around. Catch a hold of your right foot, then flex the foot. So once again, you've got that place for your hand to be locked in as you kick that foot back, open up through the chest. Release the foot gently. Tidy up your left foot at the top of your mat. I'll see you in downward facing dog. So one last vinyasa if you choose. Nice job, guys. Inhale, slide forward to plank. Lower the knees and the shins and sweep your legs out in front of you. Make your way down onto your backs. Once you're down onto your backs, hug your knees into your chest. Just a moment, squeeze your thighs to your belly. And then cross one knee over the left knee, create Gomukhasana in your legs. Flex the feet. Either reach for your shins or same thing like we did earlier, hold that area at the ankles. Even if you can reach for the pinky side of your feet, just so you could just notice this difference. Just feeling here, you got to fit for your hand right at that space at the flexion at the ankle. Then actively reach your sit bones forward so you can feel more grounding of the back of the pelvis. Now, if your heels are down, so you can actually lift the feet up so you can actually see that your shins are lined up with each other. Keep that flexing through the feet, and your hands are keeping me in this area, in this space. You can keep that and then release your hands. And then just reach your arms out like cactus arms for just a moment. And then firm squeeze of the inner thighs. One more breath. Then go ahead and release the feet. Scoot your hips more to the right and drop your knees over to your left. Now, for me personally, I think just because I've been feeling things lately in my body, I'm a little bit more flexible in my lumbar and it's too much of a twist for me. So it helps actually to place a block underneath my stack of legs so that I feel more space in the lower back. So if you're like me, where you feel like it's needs space, try that with a little support. And then let's release that, come in through center. Unravel the legs just to switch up. Flex your feet, hold the shins towards the ankles and hold that. And again, rather than keeping the heels down, maybe today just lift the feet up, actively extend the sit bones forward to feel rooting in through your sacrum. And then, so you can actually keep the feet where the legs are, where they are in space. And then let go. Cactus out the arms. Squeeze in through your inner thighs. Keep the feet still flexed. And then relax that. Slide your hips to the left. And drop your knees to the right. Again, a prop underneath the knees if you need it. And then inhale, come through center. Go ahead and unravel both legs, maybe into a happy baby, or knees to chest, you choose. And feel free to maybe gently rock right to left, side to side. And give your legs one last hug. Knees to chest, arms over the shins. And then let your legs go to rest in Shavasana. So stretch the legs out long, feet towards the outer corners of your mat. Arms alongside your body, palms to the sky. And then just feel your body release, allowing your bones to feel heavier, allowing the muscles to release hold. And just take a few moments of conscious rest. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, free from suffering, and may the thoughts, words, actions of our own lives contribute to the happiness, freedoms, equanimity for all. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu is an ancient mantra that has been woven through unthinkable atrocities, even our current ones. And in bringing it into this moment, we look at those who have been repressed and targeted. We're here to hold up love and compassion. We're here to stand in solidarity with those who want to express this mantra in their own potent way. As we put this intention into action, as we continue to be an army of compassion, we'll be the voice of the voiceless. With each breath, we are privileged to breathe. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. Go ahead now and start to bring movement into your body. Roll to one side. Making your way towards seated. Once you find your seated position of choice, feel nice and tall in the spine. leaning back slightly to feel the support of the practice for you today. And then bringing our hands together at our heart center just to reconnect back to any intentions we set for our practice today. And then using the lessons of our practice as a way to move forward, to move in a positive way, positive action with compassion and peace. Slide our thumbs towards our third eye center as we bow and seal our practice in unity. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me this morning.